How pathetic can some people be?
Here's a random thought. I don't know what kind of swing set you guys had growing up, but my swing set sucked, right? Because my dad put it together for us, and every time we swung on it, one pole would come right out of the grass. Because your dad would do such a crap job cementing it in. You'd actually swing on it, then see the swing set above you. You're like, what? Bees and wasps would always come out of that top tube.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
All right, Florida. There's Eagles fans in Florida, too. It is America's Drain. A couple of Eagles fans were so intent on watching the game, they had to watch it down at their favorite watering hole. It's called the Beer House, so I'll let you guess what they specialize in. Yeah. I like that, actually. You know what you're getting when you go to the Beer House. They wanted to go to the Beer House to watch the game. So they had their son with them. They couldn't find a sitter. So they left their son out in the car. He's 6 years old. Apparently figured out a way to get out of the car at 6 years old. And it's Florida, so it's got to be somewhat warm, right? You know?
It's probably not uncomfortable, yeah. It's not cold.
But it's not probably safe either. I mean, they leave the windows down? I mean, is it like a dog?
Yeah, you can't leave kids in the car. When I was a kid, I was left in the car all the time. But I was in Florida. It was Washington where it's raining.
So their son got out and was wandering around outside the bar unsupervised.
6 years old?
Yeah, 6 years old, just kind of hanging out there. And one bar patron, thankfully, maybe they were visiting from outside the area and they weren't from Florida, so they didn't know that this was the norm when you visit America's Drain. And they were like, whoa, what's this kid doing walking around outside the bar? It's kind of strange.
He's just Florida.
He's been standing here for like 15 minutes. Maybe we should call somebody. So they
they overcomplicate the name of their bars. They call it the Beer House. Not the Tap House, the Draft House. No. Let's just keep it simple for
the other
folk.
20 people that saw him, they're like, oh, he's probably just trying to get somebody to buy him beer.
Hey, kid, you need some beer? You got $20.
So somebody called the police, and when the police got there, they said, hey, anybody know this 6-year-old boy outside? And Crystal and Robert say, oh, yeah, that's our son.
That's Tommy.
But they're jazzed because the Eagles were winning. And Crystal, the mom, told police that, we normally don't do this, but it's
the Super Bowl.
This is a very big event. And she was cheerfully trying to fist bump the cops as she told them how much she wanted her team to win. You know what I mean? Like, go Eagles. Here you go. How about some Nucks?
Come on. Fly high.
She said that the bar did not allow kids after 6 p.m. They did not account for that in their planning. So she and her husband left their son in their truck.
I see. Okay.
Poor truck owners getting,
you must
a
be able
negative
to
stereotype on this one.
You can get the kids in just until 6 o'clock.
You notice it wasn't minivan. The kid would have been occupied.
Did you used to go to the bar with your parents? I used to go to bars with my parents all the time, but they always had a under 21 section, and it was up high, and you could go up there, and
it was a riser,
and then it was down below that you had to be 21, and so it was called the Strap.
I went to a place called Flapper Alley.
It was a softball bar. Yeah. I used to go there with him all the time. Okay.
But and oftentimes they would sneak up there and do the drink, and then there would be an arcade attached to it, and then the arcade would be like the babysitter. Like the arcade would be like, okay, kids, go in that arcade. The Beer House needs an arcade.
I just want to say I wouldn't leave my dog in the car for more than maybe 10 minutes, if that.
Crystal did say that they went out periodically to check on the boy, but apparently...
How convenient. Apparently he forgot to do that when he got out.
Yeah.
Maybe they checked on him once. Let's see. Hey, it's been a half hour. Let's go check on him.
He's doing good.
All right, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
We got a couple hours.
Crystal and Robert were charged with child neglect, rightfully so, and thankfully they have laws in Florida. God.
10, 20 years ago, this wouldn't have been a thing.
I know. I'm glad it's a thing, though.
It should be a thing.
So glad
you shouldn't leave your kids in the car. I mean, somebody could take them.
Well, especially when you go in the bar. Because you know what you're going to have to do after your team wins the Super Bowl and you've been in a bar for 4 hours? You're going to have to drive them home.
Yeah, it's not like you're drinking Diet Cokes in there because you could do that at home.
Idiots. Congratulations, Crystal and Robert.
You just wait in another 10 years. Somebody's going to leave their kid in the Uber. They're like, I just drive around with them. Come get us when you're done. Because people won't be driving to the bars anymore.
Wait, how much is it? How much do you charge me if you're not driving? Can you just park here? If it was not for my mom leaving me in the car at every turn, at every possible chance that she had, I probably would not be doing the job that I do today. So whenever she ridicules me for my career choice, I say, well, you're the one that did it, Mom.
Because you left me in the car.
I learned it from being left in the car by you, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I remember when I was younger, I'd be listening to music and stuff. But then by the time I hit about 10 or 12, started listening to a lot of the Mariners were on. Always wanted to listen to the Mariners. And that kind of.
Then you listen to the post-game show.
Yeah.
And then if you listen to the post-game show, you got turned on to talk radio. And then it was crazy. I think, we're in trouble because people aren't allowed to leave their kids in the car anymore. They don't get to discover their love for radio anymore.
Well, they wouldn't be probably listening to the radio anyways. They'd just be looking at their tablet.
We're the last generation. We're asking you, what was the longest you were allowed to stay in the car when you were a child? Paul writes in, he says, my parents would leave me in the car until about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, that's not good.
No, that's not.
That's all he just wrote 2 a.m.?
Yeah, but he said until 2 a.m. We want to know how old you were when you were left in the car. I can remember back to being about 7 or 8 and being left in the car for over an hour while my mom went into the mall. And the whole thing was, I hated the mall. I hated getting drug into. I mean, I knew I was a man early in life because my mom would give me the option. She would say, "Do you want to go into the mall with me? Or do you want to stay out here and listen to the radio?" Like, I want to stay out here and listen to the radio. I don't want to go into the mall. And I can remember this probably about as early as 7. She would lock the doors. She would lock the doors, and it was different because it was Pacific Northwest, so we didn't have to worry about the sun dynamic. So usually it was raining.
It was cold.
It was cold, and she would lock the doors, and she would say, "Okay, stay in here." And sometimes she would leave the car running if it was hot, and we'd have the air conditioning on. But I mean, it was.
Yeah, same thing for me. It was a grocery store. I was like, "You want to go to the grocery store?" Nope.
No
Stay
way.
In the car.
God, why would I want to go in there?
Stay in the car.
I want to stay in the car.
I still do it with my wife. She's like,
I know.
You want to go to the Nope. I'll stay in the car.
I'm like the first to like if we have the kids in tow. She's like, "Do you guys all want to go in?" I'm like, "No,
Yeah, I know you don't bring all that in.
My daughter's like, "I want to go in. I want to go in." I'm like, "Go in with her then."
Good morning.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.